What's up, everybody? YuGiOh 101 here. Time for another one of those videos that I promised y'all earlier this week. Looking on here, and I think I might do this one. Now, I feel this one is going to cause a lot of controversy. A lot of people may feel some type of ways about it, but I feel like a lot of people are also going to understand where I'm coming from as to why I'm calling this what I'm calling this. This video is Yu-Gi-Oh 101 discussion Konami scams. Now, why do I say Konami scams? Because Konami has this way of doing things where it's like you're not able to get the full usage out of that product, and their products being cards in the duels. It's like this: like they release cards that they know later on down the line, um, they will have to either ban or limit. However, the way they push this on you is like you need to buy this quick. Like, first I have to say it like this: a scam is only a scam if you don't know it's a scam. And there's a card coming in the new booster pack, Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, for this archetype called the prophecies. And the card that was revealed for this was called the Divine Judgement of SpellBooks. Now, basically, what the card does is that it allowed, well, like like during the end phase, it allows you to get back the same amount of spell cards that you used um, during that turn, and then based on the amount of cards you add to your hand from your deck, that's that's the level of monster that you can uh, special summon from your deck. So so let's say, for example, if you use, say, like four spellbook spell cards that turn, and you had already activated Divine Judgment of Spellbook, then like you'll be able to get, like search out four other spellbook spell cards in your build, add them to your hand, and then you'll be able to special summon a level 4 or lower uh, spellcaster type monster, I believe, from your deck, which of course was going to be Justice of Prophecy, and then Justice is going to activate its effect, and you send it from the field in order to special summon another higher level prophecy, level 5 or higher prophecy monster. Um, and yeah, like, and it's cards like this that we've seen in the past that they weren't even in the game for like I would say like two good formats, like before something happened to them. For example, that Ice Barrier Dragon. Um, what was the name of that card? Uh, um, Trishula, the Dragon of Ice Barrier. Like when it's summoned, it hit three different card zones and it banished all, like all the cards that were selected from those card zones, and that was just cheap as hell. Another card that didn't last long in this format, I mean in a format, was TG Hyper Librarian in Formula Synchron. Like those cards didn't last too long, and um, Divine Judgment of Spellbooks is pretty much will be like another one of these cards. It's inevitable. Um, so, like the main thing that you have to be careful for with Konami is that you have to have enough foresight to know how many of these cards that you need to buy or how many of these cards that you need to purchase, because obviously something is going to happen to these where like buying two or even three of these cards would be out the question. You would be wasting money, and then you got to worry about like trying to um put these cards on eBay or whatever, um trying to make at least some of your money back that you spent on these cards. But again, I'm gonna go back to Divine Judgment of Spellbooks because this is going to be like the next card to go into that pool of cards that I'm talking about. I just know it is. This card is good, too good, matter of fact. And you guys can watch exactly what I mean by this card being too good by um, checking out my Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Fan Day um, testing videos. I had like it was so hard just for me to get a battle on there that I was only able to get like three, and two out of those three matches, I was going up against prophecies, and it was the same problem. The card is just ridiculously good for that archetype, and like I said, something is going to happen to that card. Like one format after it comes out, you know, it just is because once this card hits the shelves, it, like the price is going to shoot up on it. Obviously, like I wouldn't be surprised if this card ends up being like $100 or over that. Like seriously, like I feel like the card is going to be that much because like that's just how good it is. Um, and it's like this. Again, back to what I was saying. You have to be careful when you buy these cards. If you know, like one thing in Yu-Gi-Oh that I feel that a lot of people don't have is a good sense of foresight. They don't have a good sense of foresight, and when it comes down to it, um, foresight is just common sense based on the history of a lot of the cards that have came and went, got limited, got banned. You should know that certain cards are going to hit the list, so it wouldn't make any sense for you to buy at least um, you know like it wouldn't make any sense for you to buy more than one of these because later on down the line, pretty much all you're doing is just wasting money. Now I know some people got money to just blow like that, and that's fine for them. Like they don't really care. But for the ones that's really trying to make wise decisions, it's good to know this because that way you aren't being tricked by Konami. They release these cards knowing full well there's people out there that only want to play the top tier, quote unquote, best decks and cards that they have in the game, and that's fine. But they release these cards knowing that they're gonna end up just throwing them on a ban list anyway. So it's really just a money move. That's pretty much all it is. They release these cards knowing that eventually, okay, because like they know what cards are going to get released um before we do. And like they have their little team of experts or whatever that make these decks, etc., etc., way before like we get our hands on the cards. So they already know that these cards are going to end up, like on the ban list, or like end up being limited or what have you. They already know this prior to the, like prior to us even seeing what the cards are going to be. So they know that this is going to happen. These cards are going to get played at tournaments. People are going to complain about how good they are or how broken or overpowered they are, and then they go throw them on a ban list because they felt like, hey, okay, like we made enough money off of this, so it's time to get rid of this thing and move on to the next thing. And that's why I call it a scam, because you already know that these people are already like cult followers of your product. But instead of you being, well, no, I ain't gonna even say that. It's a business, so they want to make money just like any other business. But how they do it, that's the thing that kind of makes me, like iffy about Konami. If I know that this card is gonna, so like the one thing that I can tell the players of this game is to be cognizant and be aware, based on history, no better than to buy, two or even three copies of a card that you absolutely know are going to end up not lasting long. Um, Sorry about that text message, but yeah, just no better than to buy two or three of these cards that you know won't last long in the near future, such as Divine Judgement of SpellBooks. This card is going to get limited or is going to get banned. It's inevitable. Now, what they may do is they might semi-limit it at first, which I doubt. But obviously, like this card isn't going to last long in the game. Now, I understand, like when I say last long, I mean like this card won't be at 3 for much longer. You know, after it gets released. Like this card is going to be hit pretty quickly. Um, like you can already see it on websites like YuGiOh. Well, not websites, but you can already see it on uh, um, programs like YuGiOh Pro and on Dueling Network. Like whenever they decide to put the card up on that site, you're going to see people playing the hell out of this archetype strictly because of that one card. It's become the new Twilight, basically. And y'all know how Twilight was. Like after they brought um Black Luster Black Luster Soldier, the envoy of the beginning back off of the ban list, people went crazy over that Twilight build. They added Chaos Sorcerer and a bunch of, like Venus, and they just went nuts. And for like a long time, that was the only deck you pretty much seen anybody play. Like 90% of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community was playing Twilight. And if they weren't playing that, it was wind-ups. And if they weren't playing that, um, it was Inzectors. Or like even Dark World. And that was pretty much like the only thing you seen being played, like after those decks came out. And it just got so repetitive and tiring. It was like, nah, maybe I just need to take a break until they do something about this. You know what I mean? But I'm amazing. But like, the main reason I'm doing this video is, like just to talk to the us, as a Yu-Gi-Oh community. Like don't be fooled by what Konami does, cause I see a lot of people get tricked and then they gotta worry about, oh, how I'm gonna make my money back off of this card, or where can I sell it? Like I'm gonna try to post it on eBay or whatever, and like at least try to make some of my money back. Just don't be fooled, cause like I said, a scam is only a scam if you don't know it's a scam. If you don't know it's a scam, then they're gonna get you. Now, some of y'all might think, oh, he's reading too much into this, but think about it. Konami has done this before. And for those who have been active in this game since 2002, when the game first came to the United States, we've seen this happen, multiple times. For those who are into it that deep, like we really see what's going on here. So, for like pretty much all the new people, or for like the less experienced ones, make sure that you look at the recent history of cards that have came and went and see how long they have lasted. I'm pretty sure there may be some websites where they can show you, how many of this booster pack or how many of these cards have gotten sold or what have you, and like how much they cost at one point. Um, but yeah, it's just be careful. Don't be fooled. Now I know like my thoughts were kind of scattered, in this video, but I hope that I've said enough to where you can understand why I said what I said. And if there's anything that you feel I need to elaborate on or what have you, then feel free to ask in the comments, because I have no problem with, talking to you guys or what have you. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. I know it may cause a lot of controversy, but I don't really care. My channel, I put what the hell I want on it. I speak my mind. Konami, they do scam people. They scam their consumers. Like, how are you going to release a card knowing full well that later on down the line, like, you're just going to, you know, have it hit the ban list or what have you? Like, that's kind of, like, I understand that it's a business move and they know people are going to buy the card so they can make their quick money and they can get rid of the card, you know, per se. I don't know, like, my thoughts aren't all together when it came to this topic, and maybe I shouldn't have done the video or whatever. But I feel like I said, like I feel like I've said enough to where you guys can understand where I'm coming from and why I'm saying what I'm saying. But if not, of course, feel free to ask. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Of course, I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on what I said or what have you. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.